my friend Anaya Sophia had a yoga newsletter, and she said, I've got 300 people on this newsletter. You should do this as a job. I was really helped by what you just said to me at coffee. That really helped me and my partner. You should do this as a job. And I was like, oh, no, I couldn't do it for people I don't know. How would I do that? Well, how would you do it? And she, kind of made me think. I thought, well, maybe if they send me 3 questions by email, I could write them something and send it back. Again, I'm afraid, but I don't know. I could try it. What's the worst that could happen? I'll do it for a donation. If they want to give me something, fine, but then there's no pressure. I'm not saying I'm somebody who can do this, and I'm not charging them necessarily, so it's okay. Okay, I didn't think anyone would come. So I send her this paragraph on a Tuesday, and I go, typical me at that point. Oh, Anaya, here's a paragraph. Maybe it's wrong. What do you think of it? Feel free to change. What do you think? Wednesday, nothing. Thursday, you know what? She was probably just being nice. She's British too. She was probably just being nice and polite. She's probably forgotten about it. Monday, I'm at my job, which was admin, one of the jobs I was doing to support myself at the time, and I get a phone call from a man called Colin. And I have that schizophrenic moment again. Courage and fear. I'm lucky I have quite a strong sense of responsibility around my work. I always have had, even if I was a waiter somewhere, I don't know, there's just a thing in me that believes that if you're offering someone a service, you should do your best around that service. If you're offering to be something or do something, do your best. So when Colin said, is this Lee? Yeah, I saw your information on Anaya's newsletter. She sent it. She didn't tell me anything. And do I just tell you my 3 questions? And I was like, oh my fucking God. Oh my fucking God. That was one side of me. And the other side of me, because I'm a professional, went, yes, Colin, that's what you do. You send me the 3 questions, and then I will do them for you. Thank you, Colin, wherever you are, June 14th, 2004. I always remember the date. And at the beginning, I was terrified. I would get these readings come in, and I would have to do them as quickly as possible. I'd see these people's questions. They would make me cry. I couldn't believe that people were sharing this intimate thing with me. I didn't tell my family I was doing it for a couple of years because, even though they've always been loving and supportive of me, this is a bit weird. Oh yeah, I'm doing readings from a guide that I hear and I write it down. And I just didn't want to get into that. I'd already had to come out as gay. I was like, Jesus, give me a break. Another thing? So I was like, no, I'm just not even going to go there. But it got to the point where, why is Lee always running off with his laptop and having to go for because it got to the point where I was getting busy. So courage needs fear. I once had someone say to me, oh, you're really fearless because you're a public channeler. And oh, God, no. I said, no, I've had fear all along the way. Courage is only courage when fear is present. This is another thing about our intuition. Our intuition doesn't care about our fear, but our intuition is often asking us to overcome our fear. We'll have a vision, we'll have a thought, we'll have an intuition. It's really pure. It's you know what? Go to Greece for a week with your friend because you really need the rest and you've got the money. Go to Greece and you're like, that feels really good. And then you come back to, well, Mom might miss me if I go, and if I spend that money, we go into the rational mind and we screw it all up. Or we go into the rational mind and we go, okay, this is an opportunity to trust. Going to Greece isn't completely reckless. It's not going to kill my life. It's not going to make me bankrupt. This is the dance between intuition and fear. So courage needs fear. This was a leaflet this is the actual leaflet that I created with the help of a friend, and which I think was Wendy. Yes. And this was it. And, I was shitting myself. The gift of this, sorry for anybody I'll try and keep my swearing down, because sometimes those words are the only words that convey it. But I was bricking it, as you would say in England. That wouldn't make sense to the Americans, so I can say that here. But this is really what I did. I set up this email address, Guidance 2012, because remember, 2012 was the last year we were all going to be alive, right? So it's like, okay, so Guidance 2012 is what I'll do. And this was the actual leaflet. And again, at the bottom, there is no set charge. I think by the time I'd done about 100, 200 people, it took me 90 minutes. So I was earning £10 an hour, so I started to have a minimum of £10. Just, it's like, oh, he's crying. But I was busy, very busy. And that's kind of how it all began. But it was humble beginnings. This was really, I had a little website, but it was one of those donkey websites, that nothing really happened on. You'd go there and there was a clunky homepage and you didn't do anything with it like you do now. So this was leaflets that were put in and around yoga centers. And then this is the end result today, because this book came out in March. And here's the hilarious thing about this book. This book, I didn't want to do. I was doing a completely different book. We spoke to a few literary agents, and one literary agent said to me, oh, don't do that book. He said, I'd like to represent you if you do that book. That book's going to be a hit. He said, I don't think this book, the channeled stuff, is going to be it. And I was like, we've decided. I was trying to do this other book and it wasn't working. Just wasn't. Everything was going wrong around it. And then I went on this tour and I had so many people. We'd self-published some channeled material before with the same title, but I've now withdrawn those books. This is a whole other thing. It's a bigger compendium. It's all been re-edited, reapproached. And people would say to me, I've got the books by my bedside and I open it to a page at night and it makes me feel better. And I listened. That wasn't my intuition. That was just paying attention to what people all around the world were telling me in 2016. So I was like, oh. And as soon as I followed that and said, let's put this book out there, it's been fantastic. But the reason I'm putting this on the screen now is it hit me that, wow, this is 2006, the first channeled chapter in that book was created. It was in France, it was live. So the reason I'm sharing all of this with you is partly because I know for some of you, you may not know my story, and some of you, it might just be interesting context for the day, but the seeds of what we're doing today will show up 5, 10, 15 years from now. And they won't all necessarily look like our career or our work in the world, but the amount that we let ourselves be called forward, it only needs to be small. All you need to do today is agree to just slightly step beyond your comfort zone. It doesn't have to be huge, but if you keep committing to that, and we're going to contact your inner voice later, you will be surprised at the results and the journey that it will give you. Intuition. We all have it, we all use it, it is happening around us all of the time, but you, probably like me, didn't really know about it when you were a kid. And yet for me, working as an intuitive for the last 15 years, it has been a core of my life. So I'm thrilled to bring my workshop Intuitive Power to you. I will also be bringing the fantastic Stephen Washington, who everybody loved when we did it in London in June. This will be a day where you will learn more about the intuition that you already have, how to use it, and also what to avoid when it comes to intuition, so that it can enhance your life and bring more love, joy, and awareness to the way that you move through the world. So we are coming to New York, Los Angeles, Portland, Toronto, and Calgary with Intuitive Power. We hope you can join us. Check the link below for all details and dates.